It's good to be back, Dr. Darkstar. I caught the episode yesterday about the fix for golf or for pro golf is baseball. I like it. I like it. So we're going to go a little deeper on that. What are you thinking?
Well, the concept, American League, National League, we got to stop diluting the product, shorten the number of games. But what I really want to talk about is how are they going to get these players? And I had alluded to a draft.
You mean new play, like young players?
Young players, how are they going to move up the food chain, that type of thing. And it all correlates with the fact that golfers need to be salaried like any other business, and they need to play every week because you're under salary. So the concept of a draft, we're going to create a world tour, essentially. So you're going to have the National League, we'll call that LIV, and they're going to be basically looking at the majority of players outside the United States. And the American League, you're going to be looking at the Americans. So in this draft, what you're going to have is a regional component. You're going to have players, let's say, and these are just broad strokes in pencil. You're going to have 5 players that the American League gets and 5 players that the National League gets, and they're going to be their first 5 choices. They're going to be their regional draft choices. Then you can move into an overall draft. And the concept being, like the NBA, these kids coming out of college or top amateurs in Asia are going to be under salary by their league, and then they're going to be able to work on their game and have some money in case they miss cuts, etc. So that's the broad stroke. Go ahead.
Did I hear you say that the first X number of rounds, say I think 5, so the top players, so the top 10, let's just pick a number. Let's assume that the top 10 amateurs just happen to be equally spread across the world. So not equally, but there's 5 in North America and 5 rest of world, just for fun. And the early rounds, am I hearing you right? The early rounds of draft would be you get the American League, the PGA Tour gets those 5 here in America, and then the internationals get their 5 offshore. And then it goes more into some kind of system where they go back and forth so that the PGA can pick off somebody in Australia, but that Australian player would be 6th, right, in that example, and vice versa. Did I hear that right?
As I'm sitting here and my brain is swirling, I might do every other. So you take a pick from the region, and then you get a pick from the rest of the world. You can choose anybody you wish. You don't really want to have the Americans versus the Nationals as far as LIV versus the PGA Tour of America. Once again, we're just spitballing here because we got to fix things.
Viewers, comment. I don't mind the us versus them.
Yeah. And I think, to digress a minute, as I alluded to in the previous show, Jay is gone, and once Jay goes, they can negotiate because he wouldn't call Greg, and you can decide that LIV's going to stop stealing the players from the PGA Tour.
Well, yeah, that's a precondition of any negotiation. Everybody goes to status quo. Boom. All trades stop, or we don't talk.
Yeah.
And, I would imagine that both sides would be open to that. But, no, this is intriguing. So, we don't have to put together how the draft would work. But I just, let me throw this out there. I think just my brain says, well, the top international, maybe top 2 international, meaning where do these amateurs hold their passport? Those 2 guys should go to, the international squad, LIV Golf in this example. And that the top 2 American passport should go to the PGA Tour. And then after that, maybe it's a back and forth somehow. But regardless of how it works out, we're not here to build a business model unless you want to send us a check. And then we'll sit down and put the whole thing together. Not just a deck. We'll have the whole model. Get your spreadsheets ready to go, Darkstar.
Yeah. And here, just to move forward here, the most important part of this is then the Korn Ferry Tour and the Australasian Tour. I would put the European Tour. Let's not call it the DP Tour. I just put the European Tour along with the Australasian Tour, and that would be the minor league. The Korn Ferry Tour would be the minor league. And what a great concept to put, and I'm jumping ahead here because I just thought of this. What a great concept of you put a big Corn Ferry Tour event and a big European Tour event the week before a major. So the big guys who are on LIV and on the PGA Tour get that week off I've been saying needs to be done before one of the 4 World Series. And that would bring the Corn Ferry Tour and a European Tour event into the light, and people would watch.
I love it. No, I'm picturing the LIV guys and the tour guys that are getting ready for the major attending that event.
And that's
walking
a great
around.
point.
It's a team thing. Rooting for your guys. You're still relaxed. You're just practicing. You can practice at the facility. You're not playing. Something. There's a social element to that would be really exciting. No, I love that idea.
Yeah, it reminds me of one of my favorite players, John McEnroe. Used to support everybody. He'd be out on the far courts of Wimbledon watching people play.
And Davis Cup. He was a big Davis Cup guy.
Yeah.
Great guy, Mac. You come on our show, hopefully sometime. I'd love that. That'd be awesome. I like that idea. So the minor league feeder tour. So you draft your guys. They usually go into one of those minor league tours under salary. And then if they're exceptionally good, just like anywhere else, like baseball, they would go right up into the big leagues and get going. Sure, of course.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Well, each tour can bring their guys up any way they want, right? I mean, I want to bring up a pitcher. I want to bring up a guy that I'm bringing him up and sending him down. Or they would have that freedom, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. I mean, you'd have do you have a designated hitter? Well, maybe one league doesn't. The other league does.
Yeah,
Who
there's
knows?
a lot of room for creativity there, but I like the basic concept quite a bit. And you had mentioned in yesterday's episode 14 events for each league, so to speak. 14 for LIV, 14 for PGA Super Tour in this sense, and those are big money events. And then they come together for the World Series, which is four quote unquote World Series, which are the majors. So the Masters, the U.S. Open, PGA, and the Open Championship. Is that how you see it?
Yes, exactly. And the main point to that, whether it's 10, 12, or 14 events, these guys are now all under salary, and they have to show up. These minor events are a joke when you have 2 or 3 guys that are in the top 50 in the world showing up. Mm-hmm. I just did a quick count on my computer. There were 50 PGA, now some of them were overlapping weeks, 50 PGA Tour events. 50.
Yeah, you have to wonder we'll have to do a different show, but it's intrigued me for a while, before this, a Thinking Man show. So what was the original marketing strategy with the wraparound season and all that? It's not obvious to me. Maybe there's a good one, and I'm just a dope.
Well, the only thing that was obvious to me is the big players, the big names hated it because they showed up in January and were so far behind in the FedEx.
Well, they tweaked it.
Yeah.
Come on. You can't not have Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas. You can't not have those guys this is like the Masters saying, yes, Tiger violated a clear rule of golf and signed a scorecard wrong because of that. It's okay. The rule's been suspended. He can stay in the Masters, right? Because they weren't going to kick him out of the tournament. Now, he should have withdrawn. Would have done a lot for his brand image at the time. But story for another day. They're going to manipulate the system. That's why it's another reason that the FedEx Cup is a dopey system. And I know you want to talk about that, and we'll get to that, Thursday? Is that what you're thinking?
Oh, yeah. We're going to get to it soon.
Right, awesome.
I have some notes, and I'm sure we'll discuss it.
Well, I love all those points, Darkstar. I really do. It's exciting. It'd be interesting to hear from the viewers with comments what they think. And you know what? Give us comments. We'll go deeper on. I'm sure there's some really good thinking out there that's not occurring to us. And we'll go deeper on those points. So for now, I am out, and back to you, Darkstar.
And also looking forward to the comments. This is Dr. Darkstar out.
That's all for this video. For Dr. Darkstar and me, thanks for watching. This is a show about finding logical conclusions, and we appreciate you coming along with us. We'll be adding episodes as fast as we can. There's certainly no shortage of things going on in this world.